Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who is apparently still being attacked by deer. I mean, my goodness. Like, this is, not a good situation all around here. Okay, you can do it, Gryfflet. Whew, man, alright. Yikes, yeah, they're out for revenge jousting. I don't know for what. I mean, I've done nothing but be afraid of them. I guess maybe that's why. You know, I give all the respect, to the deer of Lotro, who have been after Gryfflet for some time. Ever since the Great River area, he's had great... So I didn't even get my presents today. I was about to. Bound black steel key. Oh, is that for, like, lock boxes that I destroy all the time? I guess so. Anyway, okay. Oh no. I'm starting off the day in inventory overload. That can't be good. Oh man, that's seriously not good. What are all of these things? Okay. Well, I'm getting seriously cluttered by the new, what you call it? Legendary item system. Okay. Well, it's good to be back with you guys here today. And, okay. Yeah, exactly. Imagine Gryfflet having inventory problems. It's very difficult to conceive of. All right, so Gryfflet is going to come up here on this boulder thinking... Not that he is under any vain idea that the deer will not hunt him down up here, but anyway, he can look around himself a bit. Oh, that's right. It's the dawnless day. We are in the hills above, up in the Ringlow Vale, right above Ethring, and we were just... Oh, no, I wasn't hunting for the guy. I found the guy. In fact, I'm going to whistle up the guy. Let's whistle up the guy. Okay. Arvaethor, the guy of Ethring. Okay, and he has a whole bunch of quests. We've got to defeat the orcs like 3 or 4 times over, as I recall. We're supposed to rough up Corsairs. No, we've already roughed them up. That's the past tense one. That's very funny. And okay. Complete Veil of Shadow in Ethering's defense. He's got a whole huge load here. So we're setting things to right. Gryfflet setting things to right with his sidekick, Arvaethor. Or perhaps I'm the sidekick of Arvaethor. Can't really rule that out. So there's a lumber camp. There's a lumber camp we're supposed to find. Oh, hang on a second. I don't want the spring seasonal instances. What's up with that? No. No. Remove that from tracker, please. I don't even think I accepted that thing. Okay. Fine. Excellent. All right. So, I guess that's the direction of the lumber camp, yeah? Yeah, Veil of Shadow up in that direction. Okay. Arvaethor. Off we go. Now, what do you guys want to talk about today? Let's see. I'm looking at my lore questions to begin with. Thank you, Phil, as always. Let's see. Okay. All right, JJ, let's start talking about your Istari question from before. So JJ had asked before, when the Istari were sent over, they seem to have been actually incarnated. Yes, that's a big deal. Hang on, I'm getting stalked by a doe over here. Did this help them, or was that an intentional limiting of their power? Also, would Saruman's fall/betrayal have looked any different if he wasn't an incarnate? Really cool questions. Okay. Yes, they were actually incarnated. Now, that, and... So, I was just being grumpy in Tolkien's general direction a few weeks back when he was kind of confusing that issue a little bit. Let me start off by saying... here's the lumber camp. Let me start off by saying again what I've been saying, and based on what Tolkien wrote before, and then I'll complain. Nah, I'd complain. What complaints can I possibly have? Then I'll talk about my issues in the nature of Middle-earth. So, okay. What he'd been saying before is that basically there are a couple different ways in which spiritual beings, fundamentally spiritual beings, can be embodied, right? So if we think about it this way, there are all beings, all creatures. An injured man near a tree calls to me with great difficulty, huh? Okay. Hang on. Be right over there, guy. All creatures in Middle-earth who are rational creatures. All rational creatures have souls. They have the Athea, to use the Elvish term. Some are just Fea, like they are just spiritual beings. They don't naturally have bodies. Some, the incarnates, elves and men, what makes them different, what makes them special, is that they have a Fea and a Hroa, a body and a soul, and that these two things are intrinsically joined together. So this is not the case, of course, of the Maiar. So the Maiar, the Valar, those are just spiritual beings, right? They don't have natively a physical body. They're not from the incarnate world, right? They're not designed for this world. They descended into this world, and they shape this world and stuff. They interact with it, but they don't actually, it's not like they're born with bodies, right? The incarnate races are elves and men. They're designed within the, Arda. They're placed in Arda. They have spiritual souls. They have Fear, like which are similar in a way to the Valar and the Maiar, but they are intrinsically joined to bodies. Now, of course, the Valar and the Maiar can make bodies. So Sauron's body, for instance, is a body, is a physical, tangible body. Same with others. The Balrog, right, has a body which is also tangible and can be knocked off bridges and such. But those are not. They're not incarnate. They're not connected to those bodies. Their body and soul is not tied together in the same way. How that works when the Valar or one of the Maiar chooses to manifest that they want to interact with the world. Right? They want to interact with the world, especially if they want to appear and interact with some of the incarnate races in the world. It behooves them to make a tangible, visible form. So you're Ulmo, you want to rise from the sea and talk to Tuor. What do? You make a body, right? You make a body and you rise up out of the waves and be super intimidating. But that's not, again, that's as Tolkien describes it in the Ainulindale, those bodies are like they like put on a cloak, right? It's like putting on clothing more than it is like being born in a body. So, okay. Phil, I'll come back to the meteor question in just a minute here. Anyway, so there we are. We have these two different categories of being. One whose bodies are a part of them, right? Their bodies and their spirits are tied together intrinsically, and others who can make bodies, but are not intrinsically tied to them, right? Now, having established that, I will come back in a second to talking about the ways in which the situation gets a little bit complicated later on. Okay, hang on. Wounded logger, whom I've been leaving waiting very rudely. The man beckons you to come closer and whispers words in your ear. I tried to stop them, but they were too many. They came across the river. Leading them was a... okay. Oh, dear. I love how they stand up before they drop dead. Okay, orc camp across the river. Okay, there we go. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, I thought I unmuted myself when I finished sneezing. Sorry, I was just checking my quests. Nothing, I didn't say anything super exciting there, I promise. Okay, thank you, Arvaethor, for taking care of that guy while I, keeping him off my back. Oh, it's one of the bearded skull guys. Those beards are not actually attached to the orcs, right? No, they're not. They're just attached to the masks. That must be incredibly annoying. Okay, hang on. Alright, don't worry, Arvaethor. Gryfflet's totally going to carry his weight when it comes to the combat here. Really appreciate your assistance. Okay. Great. Okay, so while we are slaying other orcs, let me talk about the example. So now, having established the difference between the incarnates and the non-incarnates, we have a couple other factors here. One is so let's talk about the wizards now. The wizards were said to be, and he talks about this in Unfinished Tales, were said to be actually incarnated. So they do not just have bodies on, they're not just wearing bodies like garments. They are actually incarnate like elves and men. They are given bodies of the same kind and connected to those bodies for their whole time in Middle-earth. So this is a big deal. It's a big deal that Gandalf is incarnated like the elves and men, and not just a Maiar appearing in physical form.
These are troublesome times indeed.
Okay, what did the dying man say? So there's an orc camp across the river. This is more serious than I thought. Once, centuries ago, the orcs of the White Mountain were a plague upon the Vale. The people of the Vale were victorious after much bloodshed and drove them back under the mountain. I myself thought the orcs were destroyed until I saw one with my own eyes just 2 days ago. I wonder how long these orcs have been waiting in the mountain so that they may once again prey upon the hard-working folk of the Vale. Come, let us return to Ethering. Really? Okay. This news of the orc camp is worrying. We must help strengthen Ethering's defenses before returning to the orcish threat in the woods. Okay. Alright, so we're going to Ethering's defense. We've slain 7 orcs. We were triple counting the orcs there for 5 of them. That was the first 5. That was cool. Okay. Back to Ethering then. Which way is that? Okay, I'm right vaguely this way. All right. I shall walk with you, Arvaethor, since, you're on foot. Would be, I'm not going to mount and leave you behind. That would be rude. Okay, so that was the situation. Then the other week, when I in my discussion of the nature of Middle-earth on Wednesday nights in the Mythgard Academy, that's just not exactly the way. It would be even ruder to jump off the cliff, wouldn't it, Arvaethor? I bet it would. That's okay. We can go down this way. Okay, so a couple weeks ago in the Nature of Middle-earth, I came to a passage where Tolkien was he did a lot of world building, especially in those years after the Lord of the Rings was published, and it's an interesting thing, of course, on at first sight, right? You might think like, okay, you've completed and published this great work, right? The Lord of the Rings. So what do you spend the next, decade doing? More world building of that world? Like, why? One might ask, right? But of course, the reason why is that he had made the decision that this is where he was going to ground, because he had made the connection between the Lord of the Rings world and his mythology and the Silmarillion material. He had decided that those two things were joined together, which was not the case at first or at all when he wrote The Hobbit. But now he's decided that that's definitely the case, and so he was going to pursue that. He wanted, of course, to publish the Silmarillion, and so there was a lot of work to be done in order to work out all of the stuff related to those Silmarillion stories and make it all fit consistently together. So he had a massive amount of world building that he wanted to do in order to fit everything together, right? So, okay. So he's doing all this world building, and he's... so one of the many things he's figuring out is the relationship between the manifested Hroa of the Valar and Maiar, and how it was like and unlike. Anyway, he starts to blur the lines. Those really clean, comparatively clean lines that I was just talking about between the mere outward manifestation body and the intrinsic body bound to the soul of the incarnates. And he began to suggest that actually there wasn't all that much difference after all, and I began to be like, oh, please don't go here, Tolkien. Like, I've been able to explain this for years, and it's gonna mess everything up. But he doesn't end up going the whole way in that direction. But instead what he does do is really fascinating. So after I talk to Laerind here and we get sent off on more quests where I can do more lore talk, I will I'll come back and talk about some of the really cool stuff that we got in the Nature of Middle-earth on the subject of Incarnation and what this has to do. And JJ, eventually this will be coming back around to answering your question about why were the Istari incarnated? Was that sandbagging them, or was that some kind of advantage to them? Which is a fascinating question. So I'm coming back to that, but we're doing a lot of setup because it's, I don't know, stuff I've been thinking about a lot, and I want to make sure everybody understands the terms. Okay, I am Laerind, wife of Arvaethor. Oh, it's your wife, Arvaethor. That's great. No, she's been sending me on quests already, so the two of you obviously have a lot in common. My husband has returned, and I'm glad that he is safe. I thank you for aiding him. Oh, yeah, no problem. Arvaethor should not worry of Ethring. In Borhador's reclusiveness, I have taken upon myself to organize the village defenses with what little resources we have. I noticed you were, sending me for fish. I have men upon the beacon of Islandoth on lookout for attacking orcs. Our woodworkers have been tasked with making barricades and placing them at the town's 4 entrances. Are those barricades as effective as usual? Okay. I'm also supposed to... Okay, there you go. Look, it's your wife. That's great. You should say hi. Trust me, I've been married a long time, so I know these things. You're supposed to say hi when you pass by your wife. Kondur. Orcs have been spotted around Ethring. We must protect the village. Really? Okay, like this entrance? Right here? Is this the entrance we should defend? So he just stayed there on the bridge. Maybe it's over here. Everything seems peaceful. Where am I meant to go? In Ethering's defense. Okay. Oh, that's the entrance. Whoops. Hang on. The entrance is up here. Okay, so there's a little palisade going on. Okay. Here we are. I see a bear. Whoa. Holy cow, a rampageous troll. That's more than I was expecting. Okay. All right, so here's what Tolkien did in The Nature of Middle-earth, which was really cool, or, what we just learned in The Nature of Middle-earth, which was really cool. So one of the things that... Oh, that was it? That was the defending? Okay. West entrance and south entrance. Okay. So wait. I need to know my directions. Okay, so that was this one. And now I gotta go to the west entrance, which I think is the one I rode in through. Right? Okay. Anyway. Come, Arvaethor, to the west entrance! I'm gonna go this way. Okay. So, in The Nature of Middle-earth, again, thinking of the overall project that Tolkien was engaged in there during the 50s, especially late 50s, early 60s. All of that world building to try to sort of make his Oh, this is the northwest entrance. Boy, okay. Oh, no, I guess this one counts too. So I think, one piece of advice I'd have for the people of Ethering: you have too many darn entrances to your town. Okay. Meanwhile, Trogdor is just going to stand there and wait while I... Okay, that's it? Those two orcs were the only threat over here? Did I complete the... Oh, I did. Okay, here you go, Trogdor. I got you your tinder. Thank you for teaching the orcs. We will not allow them to overrun the veil. Yeah. Meanwhile, you just stood there while those two orcs... Never mind. Whether that lesson proves more convincing than that... Wait. Whether that lesson proves more convincing than that they are given by the continuing night... I'm confused. Whether that lesson... Okay, I got it. Whether that lesson proves more convincing than that they are given by by continuing night that blankets the sky, well, we will have to see. I think I got the syntax there. If the darkness does not abate, we will need to keep a store of tinder with which to light the torches of Ethering. Take some of the wood you've collected and relight any of the torches that have gone out. The shadow may be unrelenting, but we will not cower before it. We will drive it back with light wherever we are able. Footnote. That kind of language. Now, I just talked about this like a couple days ago in Nature of Middle-earth. At the first chapter 1 of part 3 of the Nature of Middle-earth, Tolkien talked about that. You'll notice this kind of language you can see throughout the Lord of the Rings. Lotro's echoing the Lord of the Rings language there to drive back the darkness, right? It's almost exactly what Han says, right? Drive away, the darkness and bad air, right? Driving back the darkness with light. Notice how that makes it sound like darkness has a substance. Like it's not just absence of light, right? It's a positive thing that needs to be driven away, the shadow, the darkness, right? And you can see that kind of language frequently in the Lord of the Rings and in the Silmarillion stuff. And it turns out that's like exactly right, actually. That is, in chapter 1 of part 3 of the Nature of Middle-earth, we hear Tolkien talking about Tolkien talking about the Elvish words for light and darkness, and one of the things that we can see is that the elves did very much understand darkness to be a positive thing, not just a negative thing, not just an absence of light, but an actual positive thing. And light also to be a substance and not merely, not just like energy. Okay, here's the south entrance. Right. Okay, we're going to get attacked again. Good. Whoa. Having serious problems here. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so his language is exactly right. By the way, now that I think of it, now that I think of that quote from Han, it occurs to me that that's probably what this nice lady is coming to help us defend the west entrance. It's very nice of her. That's what Han was talking about. What's going on here? Arvaethor strolling around. Okay, come on, Mr. Defiler. Anyway, when he talks about bad air, right? I think it's the darkness, right? That's the darkness stuff that he's talking about there. I think that's kind of what it meant. That's pretty cool. Anyway, all right, okay, let's see. We're advancing another quest. Not just orcs in these mountains, but cave trolls as well. I fear the worst is yet to come. Let us bring the fight to the orcs instead of waiting here for them to attack Ethering. Okay. With luck, we managed to be in Ethering before the orc raiding party arrived. Will luck always be on our side, though? We must continue to do our part and secure the Vale. Let us cross the river Ringlow in Ethering and head east toward the orc camp mentioned by the unfortunate woodcutter. If we perchance... I think that word doesn't mean what you think it means, Arvaethor. Perchance means maybe. You can't... It's not a verb. You can't use that as a verb. Or at least, Arvaethor, it's a daring linguistic gambit, right? It's one thing to take a noun and use a noun as a verb, right? Shakespeare did that all the time. He loved doing that, right? You know, like that line in, what is it? That line in Measure for Measure, when Lucio says that, what's his name? Angelo, yeah, says that Angelo dukes it well in the Duke's absence, right? Like good duking. Anyway, like you can take a noun and you make it into a verb, and that's fun. Shakespeare did it all the time. But to take like an adverb and turn it into a noun, like I don't know, you know, that's so to take perchance. If we chance upon any orcish structures, we can certainly destroy them. But let's perchance upon them. Why not? Why shouldn't we? After all, they shall not defile our Vale any longer. Okay. And banners. We're going to burn the banners and destroy the totems. Okay, and we're also... Oh yeah, we also defeated a whole bunch of orcs. I think I'm done with all of my orc slaying quests now. Okay. So this is the Orcish Path, and then I've still got 2 more with Arvaethor after this. Okay, oh no, I've got 2 more standing torches. Hang on, let's do a quick loop around the town here first, looking for those torches. There we go. Okay. Anyway, all right. So, but back to body. So I was talking about Tolkien's world building, etc., etc. Okay, great. So, one of the main projects that he was doing, that we see him doing in the Unfinished Tales, The Nature of Middle-earth, and a whole bunch of other places. Oh no, I really don't want to do it again. Is trying to sort of reconcile, because remember, like, the big project, the reason he's doing all this world building is that he is trying to make he's trying to make the Silmarillion stuff fit, right, in the world, and make the world fit the Silmarillion material. And so that involved both a great deal of upheaval to the Silmarillion material itself on the one hand, but even more upheaval to the rest of the world itself, because Tolkien's method here, which we've seen many times... Oh no, he's trying to give me stuff. All right, hang on, sorry. I got problems here. I got serious problems. Okay, let's see. First of all, I've got... okay, all right, hang on, Trogdor. I'll be right back. I mean, I'm right next to town. I'm just going to go sell some stuff. Okay, so... what am I talking about? I was talking about rectifying stuff with the Silmarillion. So what's he trying to do? Where's the... Okay, there we go. It's straight in front of us here. Okay.
Well met.
All right. Let's repair stuff while we're here. Okay, and let's sell some random things that we don't need, which is so many things. I don't even know what to do with these traceries yet. I've got to regroup on that front. So, okay, I can get rid of my... I've got some backup baubles I don't need. I've got a jade gemstone. Who needs that? Minor essence of might, I'm surely never going to use. A lesser necklace of something or other, which is not something I'm interested in. Okay, another backup bauble. Ooh, an agility essence. I might use that on something someday. Okay, tracery reclamation scroll, which looks handy. Code of the Rider, which I'm pretty sure I'm done with. Yeah, Okay, there we go. Oh, look at all that inventory space now. Unbelievable. Okay. Look, Druid's Fire, when Wenda Cranesbill moves her butt out of Bree, I'll do it. I don't have time to go back to Bree. You kidding me? No way. When she comes to me, I'll talk to her any day I want to, but it's not worth it. It's not worth a trip to Bree. Okay. Oh man, I also need a tracery carry-all bird nerd. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Okay, what does Trogdor have to say here? Thank you for lighting the torches. No problem. Yeah, when you're getting worried about seeing the sun, of course. This endless shadow seemed to flow out of the southeast. Does it cover Dor and Arnil as well as the Vale? I have family in the town of Linhir to the south, and I worry for their safety. If your travels take you in that direction, in the odd chance that it might take me in that direction, will you consider finding my brother Ingelad in Linhir? Sure, he's a good man, stern and tough, but who can be prepared for the onset of unending night? It would ease my mind some if I knew you would check on him and ensure his safety. I would not normally ask such a favor, but these are unusual times, are they not? I never believed we would see a day without the sun, and yet here it is. Okay. Excellent. Great. So, that's my vector to Linhir, which is what I was expecting him to give me. So that's good. Now, where am I going to the camp? All right, now, Arvaethor, thank you for your patience, Arvaethor. And let us head to the Orcish totems and Orcish banners. Off we go. By the way, footnote on that darkness thing. One of the things that this means, like, if you have been inclined to think of the dawnless day, right, the sky cover that comes and swallows the sun, as merely a cloud of volcanic ash belched forth by Mount Doom, you're probably wrong. Is that involved? Did that happen? Yeah, that did also happen. Oh man, this guy is like being chased by a bear. I think he was exiting stage right by definition, so that's good. Hang on, there's bear and deer both in these hills. We have to be super careful. So anyway, yeah. It just goes to show you. Hang on, Arvaethor. I'm just gonna see if I can do a little quick. See, Arvaethor. I'm trying to strike them from stealth. Whoa. Okay. Did you set fire to that, Arvaethor? I don't think I set fire to it, but all right. Okay, Arvaethor. Since you're gonna do this anyway, why don't you tank him, and then I'll stab him from stealth while you're doing that, right? All right, see, now that's teamwork. Whoa, just like suddenly looking up Gryfflet's nostrils. Okay, no, I'm too far away. Okay, great. Yes, so is volcanic ash involved in that? Yes, it is involved, but it's not merely volcanic ash. I know that there's this sort of tendency to, sort of, I don't know, kind of do the modernist thing and be like, well, I know what's really happening. Like, in the book, the people talk about, darkness unending, but really it's just a cloud of volcanic ash, right? I mean, there are some people who think like that. And that is not just the way of things. The shadow is the shadow has substance. The shadow has substance, and I think there's clearly more at work there than merely volcanic ash blocking out the sun. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Phil, I totally agree. It would be really nice if there were a mechanism to tell an ally to wait here while I sneak up on them. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of nice having a little tank here, but it does get awkward at times. Okay, I have to attack the. I do. I attack the totems. I don't use them. Got it. I'm figuring this out now. Okay. I am talking about so many things at once today. It's just not even funny. Okay. Oh man, I've got 3 more banners and 1 more totem. Oh, there's a banner right here. Okay. Let me get back to bodies, because that's where I started. I'm going to try to focus on the bodies question. So, bodies question. As I was saying, he is doing all of this he's doing all of this world building in order to naturalize the stories, the Silmarillion stories, into this Middle-earth that he'd been building, right? And he wanted to make sure that it all worked. That was really important to him. So, he's trying to make sure it all works, which means there are a whole bunch of stories that need to be explained, right? Such as, what about the bad guys? I mean, there's a bunch of guys, bunch of bad guys who are not incarnates, who get killed. Like, you know, slain with weapons. How does that work? Also, Melian? Right? If she's not an incarnate and her body isn't, like, is just a manifestation, how does she have a kid? Right? How do we explain Luthien? Okay. Oh, so this camp is new on you? If only my father was able to command the Vale as he once did in his younger years, we may have more men alongside us now. No matter. Let us do what we must for Ethring and push these foul creatures back into the mountain. Enter the encampment. Okay, here we are. Defeat cave trolls and the White Mountain Captain. I have to say, as a resident of the fine state of New Hampshire, I find all of this White Mountain talk. I mean, of course I know the White Mountains from the books, but things like that, like the White Mountain Captain, like the use of White Mountain as an adjective, it's a very New Hampshire thing. We have White Mountains here too, of course. You know, there are lots of, like, you know, the White Mountain Brewery and the White Mountain, like, this and that, all over the place here in New Hampshire. So it gets a little surreal. It's one thing just to, like, on the maps see, or, you know, reference to the White Mountains of Gondor. You know, that's not particularly weird. But yeah, it's the use of it as like an adjective like that gets a little strange. Oh, Arvaethor is going to run all around in order to draw the aggro of every single possible orc, huh? That's the plan? That's the plan. Okay, so how did Melian have a kid? How does Sauron end up dead? All right, well, now you're in a pickle of your own making over there, Arvaethor. You're very valiant, I will give you that. Because they don't have real bodies, right? This is a problem. And this was the problem that he was trying to address. So, what Tolkien started discussing here was that the Valar and Maiar when they manifested bodies, they were real bodies. Like, it wasn't just a visual appearance. Your hand wouldn't go through them or anything. It was an actual body. It wasn't native to them. They were making it up, right? They were kind of manufacturing that. They were kind of manufacturing those bodies. However, they were real, and they operated. They weren't just like they were not merely superficial imitations of bodies. Oh, come on. They weren't just imitations of bodies. They were real bodies and operated like other bodies did. So that meant they had the capability of doing anything that any other body could do. So, like, for instance, for one really... Yikes. Is that a roving threat? What the heck is that? What on earth is going on with that guy's head? Is he on fire? Is that just his glory? Is he the White Mountain captain? And why does he have chainmail on his axe? No, it's not chainmail. It's just a chain wrapped around it. Is that how it's attached to the axe head? Will it jiggle loose? Okay, I thought that was a roving threat. Why is there a roving threat in this lumber camp? That's not okay. Okay, Arvaethor. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to stealth myself. You're going to go in there and probably get killed by that thing. Let's try to go around it, okay? We'll try to go around it. Okay, good job, Arvaethor. Meanwhile... Huh. He seems to count, though. I guess just because he's a troll. Man, that is just the most inconvenient thing I've ever seen. Okay, there's a White Mountain skirmisher. Okay, Arvaethor, now... Let's just get one thing straight, Arvaethor. If you draw the aggro of the roving threat, I'm out of here, okay? I'm going to leave you to die, and then I'll whistle you back up. There's nobody in here? I thought the captain was in here. Where'd he go? Oh, no. Where did he go? Arvaethor's on top of the tent. Great. Okay, hang on. Oh, Arvaethor. Okay, we're fighting skirmishers. Okay, now, come with me around the back of the tent. Whoop. Don't move. Just scratch the bottom of his foot. He's like guarding the gate. Okay, let's not go this way. I think it's too late. Yes, it is. Okay, Arvaethor. See ya. It's been nice, Arvaethor. He's still dying up there? Huh. Okay. Well, I'll come back to you there. Okay, now this is a reasonable looking cave troll. Okay. Just because my sidekick decides that fighting a roving threat solo is a good idea does not mean ah. I made him run away. It's getting real dodgy over here. Okay. I just have to find the White Mountain Captain. Where's the White Mountain? Okay, it's the White Mountain Raider, Marauder, and Defiler. Okay. Alright. Oh, here he is. Wandering around on his own. I shall lie in ambush. Whoa, what is happening here? Yeah, I'm just sorry. Apologies for hitting the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. You fear no pain, huh? And you have a troll backup coming. You're gonna... You know what would have been nice? Having Arvaethor with me in my time of need. Okay, well, I got the captain. I just have to get the troll, and we should be okay. Okay, very good. Now, can I get Arvaethor back? There we go, Arvaethor. How is that roving threat? That work out for you?
How may I help you, friend?
The orcs were no match for our blades, and let's not talk about the roving threat. The trolls were sizable foes, yeah, you're telling me, but we brought them down one by one, except for the one that we ran away from like small children. Now they run into the mountains. Do they? Oh, let's imagine they are. Yes, and then let's enter their cavern and finish them off. We must enter the caves. Okay. Quickly to the cave. I like imagining that the camp is empty now.
Accompanies you into a cavern underneath the White Mountains in an attempt to push back the orcish forces from entering the Vale.
Yeah, let's push them back. Okay, Arvaethor, what do you say? Let us push back these orcs. We will strike fear into them, and they shall never again return to the surface. Okay. Okay. See, White Mountain Ski, there's literally a store called that in New Hampshire. I know it's Skirmisher, but like from here, what I see is White Mountain Ski. And that's exactly the kind of thing that we get all over the place. Ooh, those guys are yellow, huh? Why are those guys blue? They're all the same level. How odd. Okay. Thank you, Arvaethor, for being patient and enabling me to strike him from stealth. Okay. As I say, their bodies are bound to the world. Like they become, they're binding themselves to the world in part just by manifesting a body. It's a real body that they manifest. So, for instance, the Valar can eat. They can eat food. Like at times of festival, when they're celebrating the harvest with the elves and stuff, they okay, we need another one, huh? They can eat food, right? Similarly, if you're Melian, you can get married and have a baby. But if you do, you're bound to that form. So this is one of the world building things that he does. He's like, okay, where did that other one go? There it is. Okay. The more you interact with the world in a physical form, Tolkien says, if you're one of the Maiar or the Valar, the more you are bound to it. Having a body is like addictive to these spiritual beings. I can't use that. Push them further into the mountain? What do I have to... Where did Arvaethor go? There he is. What do you mean push them? What am I meant to do? Yeah, I can kill this guy too. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Just kill them all, even though I was only supposed to kill 5? Okay. How do I push them? By what mechanism shall I push them? I can't go through this portal. There's nothing else to kill. There are no more orcish forces to do anything to. I confess myself confused. Okay, let's see. Phil is asking... I got the chieftain back in the camp. Yeah, that's how I got this quest in the first place. But there's like nothing here. There's nothing I can interact with. Why is it not letting me through the door? I'm pushing. Hey! No. I'm using the whistle. Was it under the impression that Arvaethor and I were separated? No? Okay, seriously. Did I miss one? Is there one hiding? Are my own tactics being used against me? I'll go turn over. Oh, there's one. Where were you? I just came through there. Okay, still not pushy enough, I guess. Yeah, I totally killed 5 out of 5 orcs. I've killed like 9 out of 5 orcs now. Oh, did I get turned around backwards? Is that the way in? Is that the... Okay, I see. Right. Gryfflet's just totally confused. Got it. Okay. An orc chieftain guards the entrance. But more importantly... Oh, so we're basically Paths of the Dead land here? I'm seeing ghostly banners, which is very suggestive. Okay. White Mountain Chieftain. They are very polite, attacking me one by one. That was very thoughtful. Okay, now attack Arvaethor. Good. Oh, I hate the fact that his stomps are AoEs that ditch my stealth. It's just rude. Okay, Chieftain, you just wait there. Wait right there. I'll be right with you as soon as I finish killing your underlings. Great. That was super accommodating of you. You're a gentleman. And I like the skull knee pads. I mean, that's just cool. Foreboding chill permeates the air of the cave, as it would. Why do the living always interfere? Oh, it's more Ruthless Dead. I recommend you leave, as I'm not interested in your lands. You hear, Drugot? Leave, pests! Escape the dead? I'm supposed to escape? Okay. Maybe I should not be stealthed then. Alright, Arvaethor. Return to where you entered the cave. Okay. Alright, so we met some of our old friends.
Gondor needs your aid.
I do not believe these dead are simply passing through my veil. More seems to be at play here, and why do the orcs and dead share this cave? Let us return to Ethering with this grim news. Okay. To Ethering! Nice! I thought I was going to manifest back in the orc camp again. That's fantastic.
These are troublesome times.
This is unsettling. Why are there so many of the dead inside the mountain? I know the history of the Stone of Erech as much as any Gondorian, but the paths of the dead rest. Paths of the dead rest. It really raises the question. Is there really more than one Path of the Dead? Anyway, many miles and mountain peaks away from here, I have not heard of the dead traveling so far away from the place that cursed them. We must find answers if we are to deter the dead from entering the Vale. Okay, let's find some answers.
Gondor needs your aid.
Agreed. Much to do. Whoops! He's gone. Oh, good. Look, he's with his wife. That's wonderful. Arvaethor and Laerind, standing side by side, defenders of Ethering. Okay. Well, actually, there's not all that much left to do, Arvaethor. There's that guy who just wants me to kill more orcs. So let's go up to the beacons. Do we have time? Yes, we do. Excellent. Let's go up to the beacons. Beacons are this way, yeah? Yeah. All right. Okay. As I was saying, back to Elvish Health class, as you were saying. When they manifest a physical form and use it, the more they use it to interact with the world, the more bound to that form they become. Melian, choosing to A, get married, and B, have a child, was completely bound to her form. She could not leave it. She was like functionally incarnated because of her choice to get married and have a kid. That's why when Thingol dies, she leaves, because when she's no longer married, right, when her husband is not there anymore, when her corporeal marriage is over, she is freed to depart and must depart. So I guess he kind of worked out these details. I mean, this is also why they didn't have more kids, by the way, because the more kids they had, the more thoroughly they would be bound. All right, I'm tired of running. Anyway, okay. The bad guys, though. Why should the bad guys be in corporeal form, as clearly they are? Sauron got manhandled at the... What? There's a spider here? What, are they like warming themselves by the beacons? Beacon's caretakers cower from spiders that have infested the beacon. bizarre. Okay. As I said, at the on the slopes of Mount Doom, against Gil-galad and Elendil and everybody, Sauron got manhandled. He was killed. He was destroyed physically. Why? How did that come to be? Why would he not just sort of take on, like put off his body and peace out of there, right? Answer is he too was bound. That the way in which evil creatures, the way in which the evil folks like Morgoth and Sauron put forth their power in order to dominate, because again they're interacting very profoundly with the material world. But speak with Authest? Who's that? Is he going to come out of hiding now that I killed a bunch of the spiders? Where is he? Okay, he's on the other side. Keep going around here. Okay. Oh, there he is. Are you the beacon keeper?
We woke this morning to no sun, no light of day.
Borhador tasked me with maintaining the beacon. It was peaceful work until the skies grew dark. Laerind sent a lookout up here to keep an eye on Ethering. The spiders got to him first. I would have been next had you not come when you did. These creatures came out of the woods to the west. I've not laid eyes upon such sizable creatures before, and I've lived in Ringlow all my days. Perhaps an adventurer such as yourself would be willing to search out the source of this insurgence. Search out the source of this insurgence. There's a number of sibilants in that sentence that would make Gollum proud. If I had to guess, I would say the darkened skies have something to do with it. Okay. I get to defeat spiders, destroy webs, investigate the source of the spider infestation. Okay. Excellent. And hang on, where was the one where I'm supposed to thrash people? Where did that one go? Oh yeah, rough them up. Yeah, rough up the Corsairs at the Fallen Beacon. I need that one too. So okay, that's up the hill though. Alright, well I'm headed in that general direction. Okay, no problem, Authest. I'll take care of it. Okay, so I'm heading down around the corner. And then... Okay, just sort of vaguely in the woods in front of me there. Fine. Okay. The idea that Morgoth especially had distributed his power through the physical world itself is an old idea of Tolkien's. That's part of what he meant by the marring of Arda. So that he had not only sort of infused the world with some of his power and put forth his power in order to dominate its creatures, like in the creation of the orcs. Not only had he done that, but he had also weakened himself. Like the consequence of that was weakening, the weakening of himself. Did I get the webbing? It's very unspectacular. I was hoping it burst into flame or something. Okay, destroying and then just kind of fades. Okay, fine. Anyway, this, as I say, was an old idea. of Tolkien's, that Morgoth was kind of doing that to himself, and that Sauron went down that same path was also an old idea. So when he then came to these questions of how are they interacting with the physical world, he linked those two ideas together, so that he said that this whole idea of being bound, getting bound to the material world through interacting with it, was even more profoundly true of the bad guys. That was a big part of what they were doing. So it was inevitable that Sauron should be both kept in a material form, like he couldn't just dematerialize. That wasn't an option for him because he was bound to his physical form. His very desire to dominate the oh, there's a cave. Of course there is. His very desire to dominate the physical world bound him to it, and therefore made him vulnerable as well. He couldn't dematerialize. He was no longer a purely spiritual being. He was bound to the physical world. Not incarnated, not in the same way, but he was nevertheless bound to the world. So, in other words, he took that kind of two-part system that I was describing before, right? About like those who are, oh man, I almost got away with it too. Those who are incarnated in a body, and those who are just spiritual beings manifesting a fauna, manifesting a visible form. He took that and created this third category, essentially, where you had a spiritual being which manifested a form, but which was stuck with it, right? Tied to it, bound to it. Okay. Got a whole bunch of spider webs I gotta get. Ah, I think I see the other beacon. All right. Anyway, okay. So, JJ, let me finally get back around to trying to answer your question. So now, you're Gandalf, right? Or really, you're Manwë, right? And you're figuring out, you're going to send the Istari. You've got these Maiar, right? There's a Lauren over there. Oh, it's a dead warband over there. There's a Lauren over there. You're going to send him to Middle-earth. Are you buffing him or nerfing him by incarnating him in the body? That's essentially the question, right? And I think from both perspectives, in the end, I think it's not exactly... yeah, no, thank you. I'm not going to do the warband thing right now. Okay, where's the cave? From all of these perspectives, from, what fits best with all of the body stuff we've been, body and spirit stuff we've been talking about, what fits best is the idea that I don't think it was necessarily for advantage or for disadvantage. I think it was inescapable. It is they had to go interact with the material world and with its denizens, right? They were being sent over not just as they're being sent over not just as observers, right? Messengers or something like that. They were going to take the part of the incarnate races. It was their job not just to look at them from afar, not to just like be invisibly among them and maybe influence them in some way. They were going to live with them and join with them. And so one way or another, yikes, one way or another, they were going to end up joined, bound to physical bodies. So the choice from the outset to say, we're going to give you incarnate bodies, like we're going to bind you in advance. Did I just get a new skill? Hobbit resilience? Why does this have a little red thing? Like it's is this a brand new skill? I just got this? Huh. Okay. That's interesting. I haven't got a new skill in a long time. Is it because I killed spiders? Is that what happened? Okay, anyway. So they decide from the start to incarnate them, right? You are going to dwell among them. You're going to, the Weft-Mother, which is a great name. Love that. Hi, Weft-Mother. Excuse me. Going to come in behind you here. Okay. Well, that wasn't... You turned at the last second, which was vexing of you, but that's all right. Perhaps there's a strange stone? Oh, that one. The purple and glowing one. Ooh, it's got runes on. Oh, I'm fighting the stone. Okay. There we go. Stone problem solved, I suppose. Great, and I got out of here before she regen, too. Oh, but look, more corpses. Having all this good looting. Okay. So that's what it was. I finished a racial slayer deed. Yeah, I think so. Oh, hey, Pine Leaf, good to see ya. I think that must be what happened. That must be what happened. Okay, so I'm supposed to go back to the other guy, Authest, but I'm going to, oops, here I thought I was stealth. Well, where I was headed was up to that beacon. Where is the beacon? Yeah, vaguely in this direction on the other side of the ridge, on the other side of the warband, too. I'll keep heading over here. In fact, I'll ride over in that direction. Let's go rough up the Corsairs, as it has been foreboded I shall achieve. Oh. Did the sun just come out? Yes, it did. The sun came out. Am I in the wrong place now? Where am I supposed to be? Okay. Maybe I should go by the road then. No, the road. Look how far around the road is. I'll find my way. see if I can, I think I can scale my way up this hill. Okay, Enmity of Spiders 3, huh? That's what I just finished? There we go. So, and that gives me this skill with which I can raise my fellowship's hope through good old-fashioned hobbit cheer. How delightful. What a lovely little skill that is. I heartily approve of hobbit resilience. Okay, any Corsairs who need roughing up? I think I see a bunch of them. Okay, Mr. Hot Pink Turban. I have to tell you, it was a little depressing over in Ethering. I mean, from a purely fashion point of view. I have not seen a bright green cummerbund the entire time I've been over there. Okay. So, whether or not it gave them an advantage or a disadvantage, JJ, for the wizards, I mean, to be incarnated, it was obviously a necessity for them to be in a body in order to interact with folks. And they were going to be... there's a bright green cummerbund. See there? My day is complete. Again, they were gonna end. I mean, by his later, according to his later world building, they were going to be bound, right? They were going to be bound to the world because of their interactions with it. Not that they were like getting married and such, you know, because that's not on the table, it seems, or at least, you know, it's not their job. Well, there we go. We're already done roughing up people, I guess. Barely under Drugod's command, this Ruthless Dead terrorizes any of the living. No, thanks. Okay, I gotta go back and talk to Jajax and to Authest. Great. Okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Where's my milestone? Oh, what is the image on the milestone there? Is it a banner? It's a beacon. It's the beacons, right? Is that what image is on the... Okay. Anyway. So, JJ, then to the last part of your question. Would Saruman's fall or betrayal have looked any different if he wasn't an incarnate? Well, there's one ironic fact, right? And that is that one way or another, he would certainly have become essentially an incarnate through his fall, right? Even if he hadn't been one already. So, but the question is, like, was he more inclined, you know, to be thinking in those directions, he was granted this intrinsic connection to the material world, right? Did that kind of lead him down that trail? No. Did it provide a temptation? Possibly it did. But again, remember, they volunteered for this. So in a sense, you can see the choice of the Istari, that is the choice of those Maiar to become Istari and come back to Middle-earth. That choice is parallel to, it's not the same choice, but it's parallel to the choice made by the Valar in the first place. If you think about it, it's another example of this thing that we see throughout Tolkien, of a big thing that happens earlier getting repeated, you know, kind of typologically in smaller terms and examples as we move forward, right? You know, Fingon's rescue of Maedhros, recapitulated by Sam's rescue of Frodo, right, and all that kind of thing. So this kind of the repetition of these same motifs, usually in smaller and smaller scale, moving forward. You can see the arrival of the Istari as another version of that, basically. Just as the Valar so loved the world that they connected them, they bound themselves to it, right? Not in physical, they didn't bind themselves to physical form, but they bound themselves, they're tied to Arda now, right? And they have to stay, they can't leave Arda behind. They're stuck in Arda until the end of Arda, because they love it, because they, chose to devote themselves to it. Aloran and company made the same decision, a parallel decision with Middle-earth, right? They loved Middle-earth and its peoples and wanted to help them in their fight against Sauron, so they bound themselves to them and become incarnate, right? And are then stuck in Middle-earth. They're bound in Middle-earth until their physical bodies die, at which point they can go back. And, of course, Gandalf is going to come back a second time, right?
We woke this morning to no
So...
sun, no light of day.
The binding to the physical form is the binding of the physical form is intrinsic to that choice. It's an expression of that choice that they made. So it's not like, oh, Saruman might not have thought in this direction if he hadn't been forced into a body. The forcing into the body, again, it's the expression of the choice that they made already. So I don't think it set him down that path or whatever. Would it have looked different? Would his betrayal have looked different if he weren't incarnate, Saruman's? I don't know. Because again, incarnation of a sort would have been the result of his betrayal in any case. And his going bad looked kind of like Sauron's going bad. You know what I mean? His goals were similar and his methods were similar. So I don't know that his incarnation in the end restricted his parameters for going bad or something like that, if you see what I mean. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know how satisfyingly I've answered your question, JJ, but I've at least talked about the topic at length, you must admit, even if I don't know if I was satisfying in answering it. Okay, you say there was a strange dark stone inside a spider nest. Perhaps the stone is what drove the brood's mother to send her children out of the mountain's crevices. Just Gryfflet's theory. Now that she is no longer a threat, I shall be safe up here, as will the beacon. Return to Borhador and let him know that the beacon is safe, but do not mention the strange stone. His mind is plagued with worry. Another mysterious threat may sink him even lower. Okay. Right. Don't mention the evil spider aggravating stone. Yes. Was it Kalyriel dancer? The repeating elements are like themes and variations in the music. Yes, that is how I understand that too, or at least that the metaphor lends itself very naturally to understanding things in that way. We see it all the time. You can see, you see these kinds of patterns all over the place. Repeated stories, parallel patterns, and usually they go in that direction, from big at the first to smaller as you go forward. That's how it normally works there. Okay. Did Saruman tie himself down by creating his own ring? Not in the same way I think that Sauron did. Of course, we know nothing at all. No, nothing. We can guess some things, but we don't know really anything at all about Saruman's ring. We know he made one. He calls himself Ringmaker, and I believe him. But Hey, right back at you, Arvaethor. Laerind, did he tell you about how he single-handedly took on a roving threat to cover my escape? I'm sure we can make it sound really heroic. Then he circled around and found me later on. Hey, Jajax, I roughed him up for you.
Tell me what you need or move along.
I bet they ran down the hill crying like dogs. Ha ha, I wish I was there to see the looks on their faces. Ha, you're a good friend. I am feeling much better. Oh, good, Jajax.
I do not ask much of you.
My good adventuring friend. I am much too busy enjoying this tavern right now to adventure with you. Oh, you just want me to do it again? Come on, Jajax. There's a limit to how much fun we can have here. Okay. And now I get to speak with Borhador. But don't mention the spiders. And probably not the roving threat either. Let's see what Borhador has to say. Oh, anyway, but yeah, Saruman's ring, we have no idea. We have no idea. But we have no reason to think that it was itself a very momentous thing. I suspect that it was, to quote Gandalf from earlier on, but an essay in the craft, right? I don't think it's a major ring, really. We don't have any reason to think that he's successfully created some kind of major, a major ring of power there. But his choice to there's one piece of clear evidence that we have in the text of how Saruman is already exerting himself in ways that are similar to Sauron's. And I don't just mean it's not like just doing evil things, like committing evil acts. It's about how he's interacting with the world. Sauron seeks to dominate it, right? He puts forth his own will and essence and power in order to control other people and make them do what he wants, right? In order to try to bring the whole world into alignment with his will, right? Sauron is controlling the orcs. Is Saruman doing the same with his orcs? It's less certain. It might be so, but I don't think we see clear evidence that Saruman is in fact doing that. But there's one place. Using his voice, Phil, you could say that. You could say that we see examples of it there. The example that I was thinking of was the conversation that Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli have when they're crossing the plains, and Aragorn speaks of the will that is opposing them, the will that gives their enemies strength and sets an unseen barrier before them, and that he speculates that is the will of Saruman, and Legolas confirms that he has been aware that that whatever that will is, it is before them and not behind, right? As they've gone across Rohan. If Saruman is interacting that way, right, then that's clearly like a big picture application of his will to control and dominate the world around him. His voice is, Phil, I think, similar in that way, but it's kind of smaller scale in a sense, because it's interacting with individual people, or like groups of people that can hear him immediately, right? But that kind of thing, that I am putting forth my will to affect events, whole huge crowds of people, many, many miles away, that seems to me to be a pretty clear example of him kind of doing the Sauron thing, right? But anyway, all right. Hey, Borhador, what's up? Does the beacon glow brighter? This is the first good news I have been given in quite some time. Wait, which news did I give him? I will only ask, will this one light be enough to ward off the growing darkness? Well, not by itself. A thunderous pounding. Oh dear. A commanding knock. Okay, maybe I have time. Protect me! Oh dear.
Loud
Protect you from the
noises
knock?
outside the crossing hall require Borhador to seek your aid and quell his fear of an orcish invasion.
We woke this morning to no sun, no light of day.
You hear it too. The sounds grow with each passing minute. I fear the town is under siege. My time has come. This is surely the end of days. He begins to weep. Leave my hall. It is to be my tomb. Dude. Quickly now what? Oh, open the doors? Come on, man. What's going on out here? Oh. Roller skating White Mountain Raiders, huh? Let the events transpire, huh? What exactly is transpiring? Okay, we were all... Was somebody making a dramatic speech? No. Laerind was saying the beast weakens? Oh man, Laerind herself has come out to fight against you. Cave troll, you have no hope. Oh look, it's all my friends. Condor, wait, where's your husband, Laerind? We did it. Hooray! Arvaethor, there he is. Arvaethor will be proud of us all for this deed. Where'd he go? Oh great, Borhador came out to witness this. My people have protected Borhador the Old. Get over it, man. Take heart. I saw strength in my people today and the strength of this veil. How did I not see it before? I don't know. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're feeling better, Borhador. Oh, man, Phil, I totally agree that the thing that he does with his will there in the book is more impressive than the movie idea of him provoking Caradhras. Yeah, they're basically replacing Caradhras with Saruman, essentially. I mean, like the spirit of Caradhras that was actively opposing them. Yeah, I agree. I was not a fan. I mean, I understood that, but I was not a fan of that. Though, in retrospect, I liked that better than I liked the stone giants of The Hobbit. Which I'm connecting because, like, it's kind of what they became, essentially. Caradhras, I mean. But anyway. Sorry, okay. I've seen something that made me remember how I felt in my younger years. It took my people risking their lives for me to realize this. Yes, I miss my wife Halwyn and my son Dervorin greatly. I must lead this veil again so that my son will have a place to come home to. What is the difference between losing your home and death? I ask you that. Please take my word to Laerind and let her know that I am deeply sorry for my reclusiveness, and I cherish all that she and Arvaethor have done of late for the Vale. I bestow Laerind and Arvaethor with command over the Vale until Dervorin returns to take over my reign. Now I must rest to regain my strength. Now, having decided to come out of my seclusion, I'm going to take a nap. I applaud that. I approve of naps. Okay. Gonna talk to Laerind, and then I think I'm feeling like I'm mostly done with Ethering now. Maybe not. Maybe it's just gonna kick off a whole new chain of quests. Let's see. You're a true warrior. Right back at you, Laerind.
What has become of our lords in the east, I wonder?
I know that deep down the Lord of the Vale's sadness stems from how much he cares for his land and misses his wife Halwyn. It is a burden. Arvaethor and I shall continue leading while Borhador regains his strength. And when he's done with his nap, we'll see. I thank you for all that you've done. I hope that you will stay in the Vale longer and continue assisting our efforts. What, you want me to go kill more orcs like the other guy wants? It is good fortune to see you again, for horrible things are afoot, oh dear! Oh, there is a new line of quests. The dead are descending from the mountain. Oh no. They walk through the trees and travel with orcs. Arvaethor has just returned to Ethering. You should speak with him at once. Oh no. What do we have, Arvaethor? It is true, the dead are invading the Vale. I know not their plans, but can assure you these are not the dead that followed Aragorn to Dora and Arnil. These ruthless creatures follow a much darker road that is materialized from the dawnless sky. Ah. Their source, they're empowered by the darkness overhead. You tell Arvaethor about the strange dark stone you found in the spider's den. Thank you for telling me this. There may be more around the Vale. Seek them out. Then meet me near a mountain pass that is teeming with the dead. We must stop their foul plan before they make their way out of the Vale and to the conflict in the west. Oh man, if the Aragorn and his army of dead were attacked from the rear by another army of dead, that would turn the tide for sure. Destroy the ominous standing stones. Defeat Ruthless Dead in Ringwell Vale. Okay. All right. Well, we will... Oh, okay. All right. So, not quite as done in Ethering as I thought. I guess, it being the only town in Ringwell Vale, there is still more to do here. But okay. All right. And look at that. It is exactly 3 o'clock. Time for me to go get my kid. All right. Thank you all for joining me today. Made a lot of progress here in Ringlow Vale. Now I just have to take care of this Ruthless Dead problem. And then we can perhaps move on to Dor in Ethel down here. Down to Lynn here. And other places. We've got a little more ground we can cover here in Dor in Ernil. And then Lebanon with Pelargir. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Anyway, all right. So that's where we're headed next. Thanks for joining me. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks because I'm traveling. I'm going to Moots. So we have Tex Moot in Austin and we have Sunshine Moot in Orlando. So 2 of our Signum University mini conferences, which you can attend digitally if you can't be there in person. So go to signumuniversity.org/events if you'd like to join us for one of these events. They're a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm going to be in Texas and Florida the next 2 weekends. So I won't be back until, what is it? I guess the 8th of April is when I will be back. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I will see you guys soon. Druid's Fire is coming up soon. So thanks, everybody. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.